Remember this template that was given on the SLS for you to think through your ideas using PEEL. Now let's start with the first paragraph, P. Now, which is point that you are trying to make. What is the point you are trying to make? For example, now this is one student's example. She mentioned MRTs are the best mode of transport. Now, I didn't quite like this first line because it only specifies MRT. You should start by telling me the general transport system in Singapore based on the three pictures that were given. So let me give you a better example. The people in Singapore travel from one place to another using train, public bus, and even taxi. Now you notice I mentioned train, public bus, and taxi. Why? Because these were the three mode of transport that were shown on the composition paper. Then you can further explain by saying the Singapore transport system is efficient, reliable, convenient, safe, and cost saving. Now you notice I mentioned 5 main points about the Singapore transport system. It is efficient, reliable, and so on. So there are 5 points there, correct? So the next paragraph, you have to elaborate each point by giving reasons and provide examples. Then the second one, the E, what does the E stand for? Is to give some example. Now, this girl who continued to give an example, I like her statement. She says MRT do not pollute the air and cause congestion. Now, the idea is good. Traveling by train is good because this MRT system does not pollute the air, and it is also does not cause congestion. But what congestion are we talking about? Road congestion. So you have to specify. So I am now giving you an example how to specify. You must elaborate by saying, all right, efficient. The Singapore public transport is efficient. Why? You explain. Then you explain that we can travel from one place to another quickly. Then you must mention, for example, when we travel by bus, the waiting time is only 5 minutes. However, if we miss it, we may need to wait another 10 to 15 minutes depending on the period. If it is lull period, the time wait may be longer. Do you know what's lull period? Lull period means not the peak hours where people travel to work or to school. It is lull period, say maybe in the late afternoon, say 3 to 4, when not many people will be traveling on the road. So you say the time wait may be longer. But then you have to explain this is referring to bus. But if it's MRT, it will be different. MRT is even more efficient. Once you hop on the train, it takes you quickly to your destination. Okay, so you can say different. Traveling by train is better. Why? Faster as the time wait or the wait time is only 3 minutes. So can you see what Mr. Sung has done? I'm doing step by step. Then you have to remember to separate your ideas. Traveling by bus and traveling by train. Because we are talking about cost saving. Now, which is cheaper to travel? By bus, correct? The cost and wait time for traveling time is different. Bus tends to be slower compared to train. Then the next point you mentioned is reliable, correct? You said it is reliable. Okay, now then you talk about why is it reliable. Then you can mention that it seldom breaks down. Then you have to elaborate and give examples. And said that even if it does, then you can give an example of sometimes trains do break down. Okay, if that's the case, the passengers are provided with other alternatives. They can travel by bus instead, right? And so on. I'm not going to tell you everything. So I am now giving you a guide. So once you have finished, you can go on to cost savings. What else? The convenient part, and provide your points and give examples. Okay. Then explain how your examples support your answer. Remember, you gave example by train, and then you say how train is a reliable mode of transport. Now you have to explain, like what this student has done, which is good. And my comment to her is, this is good. I agree with you. MRTs does not cause pollution because it is powered by electricity, and does not cause congestion because it is run on tracks and not on the roads. Now the idea is good, but she may want to rephrase the sentence. Now you cannot say MRT. MRT is the system, MRT system. You must mention the train, because the train is the one that is traveling on tracks and not on the roads. You must mention train rather than the system. Okay. Now then the last one, which is L. What does L stand for? The link. The link, which means you have to repeat your first point, which this student has done. Can you remember her first point? She mentioned straight away about the MRT. She says MRT is the best mode of transport. Right? Actually, it's not the system, it's the train. Traveling by train is the best mode of transport. Then she has said this point. Now, if you refer to point 4, you will notice she emphasized again on MRT, that it is the best mode. Why? It does not cause pollution and congestion on the roads like taxi and buses. So do you see? Now, she has got the points, but she did not elaborate. Number 2, be careful of your spelling. Look at it. Already the word transportation is wrong. And also you must be careful of the use of MRT. It's not the system, it is the train that we are talking about. That's why I commented on her link, on her essay. Are you referring to only MRT or generally the transport system in Singapore? You may want to refer to paragraph again, which Mrs. Soong has written for her. This is paragraph 1. What did I say? I say the Singapore's transport system is efficient, reliable, convenient, safe, and cost saving. Now, once we have mentioned that, you give your point of view. All right, how do you give your point of view? You may say that I enjoy traveling by MRT, or because, as I have mentioned the above points. So you read instead. Or you can say that you can end by concluding this. I am very proud to be living in Singapore because of the good, efficient, reliable transport system. Okay, that's it. So I have actually completed the 4 segments for this piece of composition. So I hope that gives you an idea of how to write. Oh dear, I forgot to record. Alamak, I talk so much, I didn't record. I don't think I recorded.
The recording